now, we're living in a time where stories matter more than ever. And when a story is told with power, with truth, with purpose, it stops people in their tracks. My next guest on Entertainment Now is not just an actor or a creator or even a man on a mission. Born and raised in Philadelphia, he went all the way to Los Angeles to chase his dream, and he found it. He never looked back. He has built something called Platform for Purpose, a community built around marriage, family, faith, and the idea that God will never give you a platform without a purpose. And right now, he is bringing one of the most powerful one-man stage plays to Philadelphia. It is called Red. It's the story of Detroit Red, a transformation of Malcolm Little into Malcolm X. After 8 sold-out shows in Los Angeles, this show is coming home. Ladies and gentlemen, join us right now as we welcome actor, playwright, and purpose-driven visionary, Mr. Todd Anthony.
I'm well, brother. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, man, I had to. I had to. Now, we go back, like when I first started, I remember walking into the loft and seeing you, seeing Mia Mendez, seeing Buck Wild. I was there with my main man, Tim Fontaine, my mentor through it all. And like, you've been acting way back then. And then
Yeah.
I want to know, like, how you, like, what courage it took, right? To go from Philadelphia, Penn State, to hopping and just going to LA to pursue, like, in the land of not milk and honey, but the land of silver screen, but to go and you went, man. How did that even just transpire? How did you get there?
Man, you know the crazy thing is I was literally just thinking about this a few days ago, and I'm like, man, I've been doing this now 16 going on 17 years. And the idea came from, I had dabbled in acting high school, a little bit during college, took some theater and film classes, but it was never like a goal of mine. And playing basketball, I'm thinking that was really going to be my path. And then after graduating and going even through an early marriage, fresh out of college, I learned a lot about myself in that little transition period. And I'll never forget the day I was at my job at the time, and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, man, I'm so creative. I can do this, I can do that. Why am I not doing it? And I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, just reveal what do I need to do? Like, because this is not it. You know what I mean? Not knocking anybody that works a 9-to-5 job. There's nothing wrong with that. But it was just like, this is not for me. And I'll never forget, I'm sitting at the computer at the desk, and the light bulb goes off, and it's like, you should try acting. Never like fully, like, I know you've done it before, but fully try it. And from that day forward, I promise you, I made one phone call later that evening to my brother at the time, Dustin Felder, who's obviously no longer with us, but was a brother that was just in the game. He was an actor, longtime acting coach to a lot of the stars. He was the only person I knew from Philly. We grew up together, and I called him and said, hey, man, I think this is what I want to do. And he said, you know what? I want you to do X, Y, and Z. I want you to go to New York, get some classes, and I'm going to see how serious you are in a year's time. And that whole year, I laid low. I took classes. I went back and forth from Philly to New York on the train, would leave work, go to New York, go to class, come back, repeat it for about a year. Then I started doing some indies. Did a couple plays in between that time, did a couple background things. And then that next year is when I think you and I met. That next year is when you and I met, which when we was doing Split Second at the time with Tim and Neil and a host of us. But that was my first time really after a year of just kind of training and laying low. That was my first time of like saying, man, I'm actually going to do my own project. And Tim was like, I want you to lead it. It was like, that's when I knew, like, oh yeah, this is I'm good. This is what I really want to do. And I haven't stopped since.
Now, I remember Split Second, but you really went into character on that one. So if people at home, if you're watching and you've never seen Split Second, make sure you find, I don't know where it is, but make sure you go.
Yeah, no, I think Split Second lives on Tubi now, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first time, like really, like, okay, let me go into realize what this going into character really means.
Red tells a story of Detroit Red from the transformation from Malcolm Little to Malcolm X. Like, how did you even come up with the idea of doing it? Because I'm telling you, totally embodied Malcolm X Red in this one man stage play.
The idea came several years ago after I wrote a short film called Malcolm, and at the time, it was 2019. It was a lot going on. I think, Trump, it was his first time in office. It was police brutality. It was Nipsey being murdered. It was a lot that was happening right prior to 2020. And it was like I wanted to say something so bad, but I wanted people to actually listen to what was being said. And I had just got off stage of playing Malcolm X in somebody else's play. And because he hadn't left me yet, like just the character hadn't left me, I felt compelled to write a story in which put Malcolm X in 2019 to say what was going on at the time and his thoughts of what was going on. And I figured that would actually reach people even better. And so over the years, fast forwarding, everybody's been telling me to do a one-man show. Everybody's been saying, one-man show, you should do a one-man show. And it wasn't until I wrote a pilot, and my good friend, Eamon Joseph, shout out to Eamon, you probably know him from Uncle Jerome on Snowfall, but we're talking one day, and he's like, what's going on, and what are you planning on doing with the Malcolm project? And I'm telling him what I want to do as far as the television series. And he's like, you know what? He's like, everybody talks about Malcolm X, but nobody talks about Red. That process. And as soon as he said it, it was like, you don't have to say no more. And so I just ran with it. I wrote a TV show, which is my ultimate goal with the project itself. But my wife was like, it's time to do your one-man show. And I was like, you know what, it is. And so I sat down, I wrote that, and then we just decided to go with it, put our money up, produced it, ran it in November for 3 shows. It went over really well, and people was just asking for it to like really bring it back because so many people had missed it. So then we ran it again in February, 5 more shows, and all of them sold out. And it was like, you know what? I got something with this. Like, I know we've seen the story, we've heard the story, we've seen it told different times, but you haven't seen it told one like this on stage, in my opinion. I know people have done it on stage, but we haven't seen the deep dive into Detroit Red, and we haven't seen it told from a perspective of the human side of him. Like, we know the activist, but just the father, the husband, the psychological anxiety that goes into his upbringing, and when he is Malcolm X, like what's behind that. And so that's where I tell my story from. And it's a multimedia project. So it's not only a one-man show, it's not only just me, but it's live theater, and it's also film. So it goes in between live theater and film back to live theater. So I think that's also something different that I don't think people are used to.
What did you take away from the character, right? I heard you say earlier, like, it didn't leave you, right? Has it left you yet? And especially in this climate that we're in, this political climate that we're in right now, how important is that message right now?
It's extremely important. And to answer your question, no, it hasn't left me. I don't think that it will. And the reason why I say that is because I've always resonated with Malcolm X as far as the disposition of him, the intenseness of him when it comes to something that he believes in. I'm very much wired the same. And so naturally I'm that way, even when it comes to my faith and my family and what I believe in, and really the points that I want to get across, I'm going to get them across. And so now when you talk about the political climate that we're in, matched with our community, the state of our community, the state of the nation, the state of the culture, who better to to speak on it than somebody like a Malcolm X. And who's better story to bring back around to show our community and remind them that, hey, this wasn't always Malcolm X. Like there are thousands upon thousands of Detroit Reds in every inner city around America, but he found purpose. And then he transcended to make sure that he elevated what he was at one point. And so that's still very much important and very much prevalent now. And that's my goal with this. Like it's to elevate Black, white, it's to elevate everybody.
Right. Malcolm X went through several versions before from Red to Malcolm X, from the prisoner, the minister, Detroit Red, right? Which one was hard for you to portray and why?
That's a tricky one. I would probably say Malcolm X, because as an audience member, and if you're just a follower of him or someone who looked at him as a hero, it's very hard to portray someone's hero to them without them looking at it like, I don't know, he don't really look like him, or he don't really sound like him, or maybe he ain't hitting it like Malcolm normally would. It's kind of hard to do. Gracefully, I've been able to do it. And people have said, man, one of my best versions of Malcolm X, Y, and Z, that doesn't really move me. But I would say it's also hard to show someone that they've never seen before in detail, as far as Detroit Red. Because Detroit Red, I'm touching on Malcolm Little. Yeah. Obviously, I could be a kid, but I'm going back to that mentally.
Yeah. The audience. When do you feel the audience shift? You know what I mean? Like when you know that they're locked in. At what point? Because I was watching some of the video of it, and I was just blown away, right? And you can see, I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it like this. Remember when Heath Ledger played Joker, and he was locked into that character? That's what this reminded me of, right? Like trained actor, locked in, audience paying attention. At what point, like when do you realize that the audience is locked in and this is it? And you just now go to the next, how they say, the upper room, you upper level, you go to the next level.
I would say for a lot of people, I'll tell you what I receive. There's a moment right before the second act. It's the very last act in the first act. Most people said that's the one that really, really I was like, yo, I don't know who this is, but this is not Todd. This is us watching a soul battle between itself, because without giving it away, there's a scene in which I play both Red and Malcolm X at the very same time. On stage, live on stage. So I'll just say that.
Okay.
And then there is, most people said that the very last scene of the play was almost by far one of their favorites. And I don't want to give it away as well. No, I will, because you don't know what I'm saying. But like I said, it's a blend between film and stage. So I use the film portion to catapult me or to transport me into 2026 right there in front of your face. But then my speech is direct live on stage to you, the audience member, in 2026.
Okay, that's enough. Don't give me no more. Don't give them no more. They don't need no more with that. When is the show? It's coming to Philadelphia. How can people buy their ticket? Is there early bird special? Just give us the 411 on it. Damn, did I say 411? I sound old as hell. Yeah. I'm super excited, and I know our audience is super excited now. Red, coming to Philadelphia. Todd Anthony, one-man show. When's it coming?
The show will be July 10th and 11th at the Independence Seaport Museum right there in Penn's Landing, literally 15 minutes away from Delaware. You can go to www.platformforpurpose.co/events, and that's the number 4 in Platform for Purpose, not the word for. You got your mezzanine, your balcony, and your orchestra tickets. If you are a group of 10 or more, you can get discounted off of each ticket that you get. You just put in a discount code RED GROUP, all one word, and put it in the coupon code. You'll see it on the website. You'll get $10 off every single ticket. And then I know we're gonna run another promo. We always run one closer to the show, and it'll also be the same where anybody can get $10 off. But right now, any group can get their group rate if they put in RED GROUP of 10 people or more. But yeah, man, go to the website. We want to sell this thing out. I keep telling people, I'm doing this independently. We're doing this with our own funds, and it's not easy, but the goal is Broadway with this show. The goal is Broadway, and the way we get there is by the support of the people. It's not about a ticket sale. It's about the people that show up. Mm-hmm. When we show a demand for something, that's when investors come. That's when Broadway comes. That's when Hollywood comes, because they see, oh, wait, this is something happening. This is a movement. So I need Philly, Jersey, Delaware, Baltimore, New York. I want everybody to come out. And you better come out. Todd, thank you so much, man. Wish you nothing but the best. I will see you in July. I will be there front stage and center, and I can't wait. And I'm going to bring you on after the show so we can talk about how great it was after the show in Philadelphia. That cool? Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. And before we get off, I just want to say, man, I'm so proud of you and everything that you've built from the time we met till now. You've always been welcoming and one of the greatest brothers I think that I've known and conversed with. And so I just want to give you your flowers, brother, and just say, man, keep building and keep doing what you're doing, because you got something special over there. Todd, thank you so much, man. God bless you and your fam. This is exactly the kind of story we love to tell here at DETV, and especially on Entertainment Now, because it's not just about entertainment. It's all about purpose. It's about legacy, and it's all about showing up fully for what God called you to do. Again, RED is coming to Philadelphia, July 10th and the 11th at the Independence Seaport Museum. After 8 sold-out shows in LA, this is your chance to see something special, live and in person. Tickets start at $65, and you can grab them right now at platformforpurpose.co. And if you're not familiar with Platform for a Purpose, go check out Todd and Lena, because they are building something great for marriages, families, and communities in a real way. Todd Anthony, we appreciate you, bro, for joining us today. Delaware's watching, and we are rooting for you, bro. So if you're paying attention right now, go get those tickets. Hurry up. You heard what he said. Group discounts, all that. Just go. All right? I'm Big Ive, and this is Entertainment Now on DETV, Delaware's media platform, digital entertainment television. See you next time.